Good morning, everybody, and thanks for the kind introduction. It's a great pleasure to be here. I've been looking forward to visiting this school now since it was opened in the summer of 2009. I'm sorry it took me so long, but finally I got an invitation to come to El Paso, and it gives me a great pleasure to come here and say hello to all the Powell Rangers. And, now, a lot of you really don't know who I am, and I know that. Yeah, well, you know the school's named after me, but do you really know much about me? I was a soldier. Okay, be careful, I might ask some questions. How old do you guys think I am? Hey, wait a minute, that's not where it is. How many of you think I'm in my 40s? God bless you. How many of you think I might be in my 50s? How about 60s? I couldn't be any older than that, could I? Okay, now listen. I am like our nation that was born in 1776. I'm 76 years old. And I had a full career in life. I became the #1 person in the Armed Forces of the United States as Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I then became the top diplomat in the United States as Secretary of State. I worked for 4 presidents at a very senior level, President Reagan and President Clinton and both President Bushes. And I'm close to the current president, President Obama, so I've been up there for a long time. But that's not where I started. I started in a public school just like this one, many, many years ago in the South Bronx section of New York. I was born in a place called Harlem. My parents were immigrants. They weren't born in this country. They came from the island of Jamaica in the Caribbean. And they came here just as 2 laborers who wanted jobs so that they could raise a family and provide for that family. And that's what they did. And because this great country of ours gave them that opportunity, they were able to come here, get jobs, work, find each other, get married, and have 2 children. Me and my sister Marilyn, who was a great teacher. We were very proud of Marilyn. She was a teacher for 40 years and a very successful teacher in California. But when I was coming up in that poor neighborhood that I grew up in, I didn't know where I was going in the future. I didn't know what was going to become of me. Once I became famous and became chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, people would ask me questions like, gee, did you go to West Point? No. Did you go to one of the great military institutions? No. I went to a public college, a public high school, a public middle school, and just an average elementary school. And yet you were able to rise to the top. When you were a kid, 10 years old, 9 years old, 8 years old, did you ever dream you could reach these positions in life? And I smiled and I said, yeah, there I was. I was about 9 years old, and I was standing in the corner of 163rd Street in Kelly in the South Bronx. And I said to myself, self, you're going to grow up and become chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Armed Forces of the United States. It's not the way it begins. It begins right where you are. Just with what my colleague just said. It begins with you all coming here every single day ready to learn. That you come here every single day recognizing that the teachers who come here with you are giving you the greatest gift you're ever going to get in your life. And that's an education. And they come here to love you, they come here to care for you, and your responsibility is to come here every single day, paying attention to what they have to tell you, doing your homework, making sure that you're behaving, and above all, taking care of each other. You are Powell Rangers, you're a team, and a team takes care of every member of the team. So you have to come here every single morning, ready to learn, listening to the teachers who are here with you, listening to your parents at home, and recognizing that if you want to go somewhere in life, if you want to be whatever, a general, a secretary of state, a teacher, a bus driver, no matter what it is, if you want it, go for it. And if you want it, you have to prepare for it. You have to get your basic education in order to be able to be successful in this great country of ours. Every single one of you is important to me, important to your parents, and important to our country. Every single one of you has the potential, the opportunity, and the ability to be a success in life. But you know where that comes from? It comes from your heart. It comes from your willingness to work hard, your willingness to study, and do the things that are right in life. And always stay away from the things that are wrong. You know what's wrong, don't do them. Always do the things that are right and move in the right direction, and you will be a success in life. You're still young. You still don't have to worry about what you want to be, but you're preparing yourself for whatever that's going to be. And so make sure you come every day to learn. Make sure you master the English language. I've often been asked, what was your best subject in school? What did you do the best at? Well, I wasn't a great student. In fact, I was a pretty mediocre student, but I loved English. And I found that if I mastered the English language, learned how to speak it, write it, and to essentially read English well, all the other subjects come from my ability to understand English. So make sure you focus on your English training, and then math and science becomes easier. Now, I don't want to give you a lecture because it gets a little old after a while, so I'm going to let you ask a few questions, if anybody has any questions. When I'm not ready for you, I'll tell you when. But you're going to have to do it my way. When I call on you, you're going to have to come up here and stand right in front, and look at your fellow students and ask the question. And one of the things that I want to talk to you about before we do that is something we have in the Army. In the Army, we have a rule for new soldiers. When they first come into the Army and they go to their basic training, we teach them that when the drill sergeant asks them anything, any question whatsoever, there are only 3 answers they can give. Yes, Sergeant, no, Sergeant, and no excuse, Sergeant. We teach them early on that they are responsible for whatever it is they do in life, whatever they do in that unit. And they either comply or they have a reason for not complying, but no excuses. Don't give me any reasons or any type of excuse for something that you should have done but you didn't do. And so we play this game in the Army, and it's not really a game, it's a serious way of training people. You need to shine your shoes. But Sergeant, my shoes, I shined them last night. Look, shut up. The answer is no excuse, Sergeant. I'm sorry they don't look well. I'll do better tomorrow. And so, as this school has a no excuses university policy here, you start working on getting into college now. And college isn't for you, get trade school or some training, but it starts now. And so you come here every day, ready to learn, ready to take advantage of what the teachers are giving you every day, and there are no excuses. You do what you're supposed to do, you do what is expected of you. You always understand that your parents want you to do better than they are doing. This doesn't make any difference. Even in my own family, with our success, I always wanted my children, and now my grandchildren, to do better. And that's what we want you to do. We want you to come here every day with expectations in your heart from your parents. And we also want you to come here every single day with the understanding that you don't want to do anything that shames you or shames your family or shames your parents. Who's your role model? Be your own role model. You can look at a general, you can look at a teacher, you can look at a basketball player, but at the end of the day, you have to meet your own desires, your own standards. So go through life being your own role model. Watch yourself. Am I doing my very, very best? Is there anything I can do better? So you do that, and you're going to be in the path to success. Now, I'm glad I had this one opportunity so far to visit you. I can assure you that I will be back whenever I'm in El Paso. I will drop by to see my Rangers. And now we're going to have a little fun by asking people who want to ask a question to come up here, and I'm going to show you how we do it. And we'll do that for a few minutes before I have to leave. So who would like to ask a question?